Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are making mini orange and ginger Florentines. I've never made a Florentine before. I kind of had to Google what they were, but they look really good, so let's get started. I did pick this recipe because some of the ingredients I don't know if you guys have them over in Britain on the shelves all the time, but we do not. So stay tuned. So I've got 50 grams of unsalted butter and 50 grams of golden syrup in my pan already, and I just turned on my heat to medium, so that is melting down. Okay, golden syrup we don't have in the States, so a good substitution would be maple syrup, which is what I've elected for today, or you could use honey. So 50 grams of either of those two. So I did maple syrup today. I'm going to add 50 grams of my caster sugar, which again is just ultra fine or super fine sugar that you can find in the States. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook that over medium heat for 2 to 3 minutes, stirring until the sugar dissolves. So it'll take just a minute. I do already have my oven preheating. Today we are using 355 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. Again, I'm never really sure if that 5 degrees makes a big difference, but I follow the recipes as much as I can. So I'm just going to give this a couple minutes to melt down that sugar and butter, and then we'll get going with the rest of it. Okay, so it said to remove from heat, and then we need to add our other ingredients. Now I just stirred it or it melted it until it was smooth. You could definitely feel the sugar, the grittiness of the sugar. So I just waited until that went away. And so I assume it's been about 3 minutes. So that sounds about right. Okay, so now we need to add our flour. So we have 50 grams of plain flour today. Okay, and almonds. 50 grams is the magic number today because we have 50 grams of flaked almonds. And orange peel and crystallized ginger. This is the stuff that we just don't have in the States other than around the holidays. So we've got crystallized ginger and orange peel, 50 grams of each of those. And I just need to stir until combined, taking care not to break up the flaked almonds. So I'm curious, I guess, do you guys have the crystallized ginger and the orange peel on the shelves all year round? Or do you go and crystallize the ginger by yourself? Like, I've never candied anything. It's probably not as hard as I think it is, but I was not going to start my recipe with candying something when I have no idea what it is. So anyway, I'm just going to stir this. So that's why I picked to do this one today, because we don't have those any other time of year. And also the chocolate later that we'll use, it's orange flavored chocolate, and we don't have that in the States either other than around the holidays. So all sorts of ingredients that are only found once a year. Okay, so we need a 1 teaspoon measuring device. Okay, so I've got my 1 teaspoon, and we're going to place 24 equal mounds of the mixture on the lined baking trays. This is going to get me 24. I don't know, I picked a measuring spoon that's flexible because I didn't know how sticky this stuff was going to be and if I was going to have to manipulate it to get it off the spoon, because it's not like liquid. That is a very small amount of stuff, but it does say mini, so these are mini Florentines. It does say to spread them well apart, so maybe I should make sure that they're spread far enough apart. All right, I've got one tray done, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw that in the oven. Again, 355 degrees Fahrenheit, and they're going to bake for 10 minutes until golden brown. So put those in. Okay, they've been in there for 8 minutes and they're done. I mean, they're golden brown. I'm gonna take those out and I'm gonna put my next ones in. I'm just gonna set my timer for 8 minutes this time. I'm having issues with my oven. I'm pretty sure it's going out, so stay tuned for that. Now, that looks golden brown to me, so that says done. Now, it does say if you want neat edges, which mine are kind of all over the place, so I'm going to do this step to take a 5 to 6 centimeter round cutter. So I have one of each because I have a set of like every size imaginable. I'm going to do the 6 because some of these are pretty big. So it says while they're still warm on the tray, use the round cutter to push any uneven edges into a neat circle. So this one's gonna, so I'm just gonna do, that one didn't like, oh well. I'm just gonna do a little bit of neatening up just so they don't look like mob blobs. Oh, I don't think that one's gonna push. Well, they're not gonna be perfect, but they'll be a little more round. They're not circles. Oh well, that they'll still be good. Now I do need to let these cool. Let's see. Leave the Florentines to cool in the trays for about 10 minutes. So basically, by the time my other ones come out, these ones will be done cool enough, and then I'm going to put them on a rack to cool completely. So I'm going to have to let them cool all the way down before I put the chocolate on them to make them a Florentine. Okay, my Florentines are cool, so I'm going to start the chocolate process. What I have is 150 grams of orange flavored milk chocolate, and I broke it into pieces. I'm going to put it over my simmering pot of water here and get that double boiler system working. I just need to melt that down. Now this is one of those ingredients that you can only find around the holidays. I literally had to get like the chocolate orange to find anything that was milk chocolate and orange flavored. There was a dark chocolate bar that you can buy that has orange flavor, but it says milk chocolate, and I figured this was closer to milk chocolate than the other one. That's what I went with. It literally looks like an orange. Like that's what it looked like when I pulled it out of the box. Anyway, I don't love orange. You know, I've gotten used to it over the years, but it's not my favorite flavor. So I didn't know that you could buy a chocolate orange. Anyway, I am going to melt this down, and meanwhile, I'm going to flip over my Florentines. So right now, okay, they kind of look like this. I'm going to flip them over so that the flat side is up, so that when the chocolate's ready, I can spread the chocolate on. Now, I will let you know that my second batch of Florentines took like 14 minutes in my oven. The first one took 8, second one took 14. I clearly have something going on wrong. So just make sure they're golden brown. That's all I can tell you. Okay, my chocolate is melted. I'm gonna put that there. Okay, like I said, I have the Florentines. I flipped them over so that you can see the flat sides up, and then it just says to spread the chocolate over the bases. Doesn't say necessarily how to, what's the best technique, if I should leave them on there, if I should pick them up. They're very delicate, so I'm not sure that this is probably the best way to do it. Oops, can't even see that, can you? Anyway, I don't know. Like, part of me wanted to dip them, but then as I was flipping them over, I realized how delicate they were. I was like, oh, that's not going to happen. All right, that looks all right. Now, after I get all of these coated, I'm supposed to let them sit for a little bit, and then I'm going to put a pattern in them, just like a squiggle or something. I don't know. I might skip that step. I'm not so concerned about how the bottom looks. The tops already look weird enough. Something I would do different next time is it did say in the instructions with the crystallized ginger and the candied orange peel to cut them into 5 millimeter dices. Okay. And when I opened up the little container, the orange ones were very small. And I was like, oh, that's fine. The ginger was a little bit fatter. They were a little bit bigger, but it wasn't that much bigger than the 5 millimeter dice. So I was like, oh, it'll be fine. But I definitely noticed, like, especially the one I'm doing right here, like, that's a big chunk of ginger that did not melt down. So that's why I have some awkward shaped ones. It didn't, like, the ginger was too big, and therefore it didn't, I don't know, spread out. So I have these ones that have this awkward hump on them, which is whatever. I'm not too worried. Again, I'm more in this for the flavor. My prettiness level is kind of low. I don't really care. For the most part, I make these for my family. Sometimes I take them to other places, to people to share if I have an event or something, but sometimes it's just for me and my kiddos and my husband. So that's what it is. But anyway, I'm going to finish doing these. If you want to put the design in it, I'm still deciding. You have to wait 5 to 10 minutes after you get this on so that the chocolate kind of sets, so that when you put the design on, it's not just melted chocolate on there. And then put your little squiggle. So like this one suggests you do like a fork. Like you pull a fork and just squiggle it. You could do that. It would be fine. I don't know that I'm going to do it. We'll see. Maybe I'll try it on a couple, because by the time I finish these, the first ones will be kind of set. I'm also trying to figure out how much chocolate to put on these, because I have quite a bit left in my bowl. Maybe I'll put a second layer. Okay. I do not have very much chocolate left in my bowl. I mean, I pretty much scraped it. There's a little bit, but so that nice thin layer was apparently just right. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes, so I'm going to try to make these pretty. Oh, that does look kind of nice. Can you see it over the shine? I don't know. It's been quite a while. I'm just going to do this. If it works, great. If not, that's all right too. You could do, I guess, whatever pattern you want here. I don't know if this is really doing much, though. There's not much chocolate on that one. Anyway, while I'm finishing these up, you should let them cool all the way down to room temperature so that the chocolate is fully set before serving them, because otherwise you will have a mess like I have on my fingers currently. So I'm going to try to do that so that I can give you a texture commentary on my tasting part of this episode. But while we are waiting for that, if you are interested in this recipe or any of the other recipes from the Love to Bake book that I am currently working through, look in the description below. I have a link to that book. You can get it on Amazon. You can also get it in your local bookstore, I think. I haven't looked in a while. It's a little older now, so maybe not. Check the link in the description below. Okay, everybody. The Florentines have come to room temperature, so the chocolate is set-ish. I'm going to tell you right now, they're not the prettiest looking things. I mean, like, they're fine. And, like, the squiggles came in. Like, they look good. And that's not just, like, the best looking one. Like, I don't know if it's worth it, honestly. They're just not all that pretty, which is fine. I'm not really too worried about the prettiness. But let's give them a taste and see how they are. I don't know how much of my crunching you can hear. There's definitely a crunch to them, which is kind of pleasant. You know, we make a lot of soft cookies in our house, like gooey, ooey. So this is kind of a nice difference. Like it has a nice little snap or crunch to it. I do like the flavor. The orange in the chocolate definitely you can taste, which is probably good because I tasted a little piece of the crystallized ginger just for fun. That was powerful. That was strong. But this is good. I like it. It's different. So yeah, and it wasn't that hard. It just, again, some of these recipes are just time consuming, and this one really wasn't all that bad. It's just I wanted to get things done in a certain time, and 10-minute bake, 10-minute wait for this, 10-minute that whatever. That's just my complaint. Anyway, they're good. They weren't hard. They were pretty easy. It's just the time. But anyway, that was my latest bake on my Love to Bake Great British Baking Show book. If you liked it, great. Please like and subscribe to the channel so you can see when my next bake comes out. And go take a look at my other videos. Let me know what you think. And again, check the description below to see the link to get that book and all the recipes that are in it. But otherwise, I will see you next bake.